Okay, welcome everyone to our call today about supplements. And because we're talking about supplements today and some of the recommendations that we would like to make from products that we personally use and recommend, I am going to actually read a quick disclaimer today because when we're talking about supplements, it's important that we note that we are not medical practitioners. So let me just get through this quickly and then we will carry on with the rest of our call today. So health intuitive readings and any information or recommendations provided, including but not included, not limited to the content contained on mybreathing.com, masamicovey.com, online courses on teachable.com, or any associated newsletters, emails, online platforms, and social media, online summits, and or printed or downloadable materials are solely based on the personal and professional experience of Breathe Inc. and masamicovey.com personnel and are limited only to providing educational information for supporting overall health. Statements made on these platforms have not been evaluated by the FDA or other regulatory body. Furthermore, courses and services provided by Breathe Inc., Masami.Covey.com, or any other of its practitioners should in no way be construed to diagnose or cure diseases, replace personal medical consultations, nor are they intended as a substitute for medical treatment by a licensed physician. If you have or suspect having a serious medical condition, please consult a licensed physician for a medical diagnosis and treatment. And there you have it. That is the world we live in today. So thanks for listening. And with that, Masami, do you want to join us and say a couple quick words?
Nice to see you all. We will be talking about Zorex quite a bit, and Zorex are not sold in Europe, right? Or the UK. So that's the hard thing about these kind of calls, and I come from another country too, and it's really hard. I help my brother a lot with this. And I try to get him to maybe look for something closest thing. Otherwise, I actually package things up. I have a package that's going for him that I'm mailing it to him too as a gift. So that's kind of how I do it with the people outside of the US and Canada. The reason why we love the Zorex is one, my mentor, who's 86, 87, I don't know, somewhere there now, formulates a lot of this. He formulated a lot of the supplements for Biotics. He was part of the support team for the standard process. And so he is just like a walking dictionary, walking encyclopedia. So he formulates a lot of these things. So that's why we love the quality of what Zorex is providing. And we received, I talked to the owner. It's owned by his daughter-in-law, and she has been really working on bringing the kind of a feminine quality to the supplements, and that's why I love it. And I really feel the difference using Zorex because there's this kind of intuitive connections that she brings into this. And I speak with her regularly, like once per week actually, and supporting bringing that sensitive energy into the supplements that they're curating and creating. So that's why we love it. But obviously you can, buy whatever you choose. But one thing is that please don't settle for brands like Now Brand. That is just like such a low quality. I don't even understand why people are still buying that company. And Pure Company, I do not like their stuff at all. So a lot of people buy the Pure brand because it's cheap. I mean, it's cheap for a reason. So I just want you to know that straight up. Okay.
I'm going to just quickly
Yeah.
say two quick things. One is adding to what Masami said, the reason that we like these products that we're going to talk about here today, and Zorex in particular, is it's the quality level. And I want to just emphasize that it's about quality. And when you buy cheaper supplements, it might technically have nutrients in them, for example, magnesium or B12, but oftentimes cheaper products, they're using a form because it's cheaper to produce and it's less expensive so they can sell it for less, but it's less available to your body. Okay, so we're looking at products that have high bioavailability of the nutrients in them. And I just wanted to add one other thing, which is for those of you in the UK and Europe, and if anyone from outside of the UK in Europe has actually used Nutrilink before to order, I'd love to know about it and know what your experience is in. We have it set up so that you can order from there as well, automatically get 10% off of their list prices. And we're actually working with them right now to make that 15% off through the end of this year. Okay, so, but you need to mention my name for that one. I'm going to put that in the chat right now. So it's nutrilink.co.uk. And I'm also going to say, just mention my name. Okay.
Okay, so everyone, so this is MasamiCovey.com. And if you go to supplements and supplement ordering, and if you're in the UK or Europe, because I know parts of Europe, the Nutrilink will send it. So you want to call them and set up your account. We always automatically give you 10% off all throughout the year for this. But we have contacted them. They're a little bit slow to get back. So we will let you know, but we will set it up so that you get 15% off till the end of this year. So that way you have the entire December to get that little bit cheaper. Okay. And then Canada, basically contact us. We can send you Biotics products and we can send you the Zorex products, but it has to be done a little bit differently and on the individual level. Okay. And then let's come up here. So I'm still in the same page, the ordering the supplements. So full script, it's always 10% off, but right now till the end of tonight is 20% off. Set up your full script account now, and then you could click here. If you already have the account, it'll just take you to your account page. And then Zorex, one way that you can set up your account is to first time you have to go to the new patient account. And Chris has put all this stuff here so that you can create your own account and you can start to order directly through online, or you can call them because they are such nice people. Like, I mean, seriously, when you call, they're the most cheerful people. So please call them and make your order directly. Unless you're in Canada, then contact us directly in email. Okay. So that's kind of the basic part. And I wanted to share, if you go to special, you're going to find the Thanksgiving Light Friday sale that we are running. And I created multiple videos so that you can really understand how to use some of these supplements. So if you go to ordered Zorex bundle, where I did not quite finish my thought earlier on, but I contacted the owner because I'm in close contact with her, and Zorex never runs a sale. Okay, so Zorex will never run a sale because their quality is so high. They just feel that there's no need to be running a sale, and I agree with them. But I contacted the owner and then I asked her, I said, is it okay if I run a little sale? And of course, the sale is coming from our part of the earnings, but I much rather have you try and really make a difference in your body. That's why we are running the 15% off of the bundle. And when you click here, I created videos for most of these. So healthy digestion bundle, I created a video right here. So, and then they're not very long, and I go through each of these supplements so you can watch that. So we thought we won't go through too much of, what I have already put together here, but you can see that there's a video there. Chris actually did a nice video for magnesium bundle. And also he's giving away magnesium PDF information there so you can learn about it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about magnesium before I go to the next thing, is that we have about 26 different kinds of magnesiums out there. And you don't need all 26 kinds because you'll just be taking too many magnesiums then. It's like, what's happening here? But you do want to take at least 3 to 5 different kinds of magnesiums, depending on your needs. And that depending on your needs is in the many forms of magnesium PDF. Okay. We've gone through to explain why you want to switch your magnesiums around. And Chris will go through that in this video too, short video that he created. But I want to talk a little bit about magnesium glycerophosphate. And this is like a newfound magnesium for me. I started it about 1.5 years ago when I learned about the magnesium glycerophosphate. It's wonderful for women in menopause, perimenopause, postmenopause are having a harder time sleeping. So sleep issues can be many, many different things, but it's been so helpful for me when I have switched to glycerophosphate at night. And this is one of the most absorbable formula of a kind of magnesium that you want to look for, especially at that critical changes in your hormonal changes in your body. So this one thing that I wanted to mention. Taurinate is really good in terms of liver congestions as well. So as we go into menopause, postmenopause, and you might be accumulating some xenoestrogen and you want to really clear that and support your liver, Tornate form is a wonderful way to do that. Orotate is also really good for your brain function. So if you're having like brain fog or sometimes like forgetting words or feeling like there's a brain exhaustion going on, orotate is a great one. And it's great for your heart as well. So, magnesium in general is wonderful for your heart, but you can read the PDF, print it out, put it near your supplement. So you're actually asking your body, which one do I need today? And a lot of people say, well, when should I take them? And then how should I take them? And how do I rotate them? Well, that's going to depend on you. Okay. When do you need to take these things will depend on you asking yourself that question. So I do glycerophosphate some nights. Sometimes I can feel my liver and gallbladder are congested, then I switch it. I can feel that sometimes my brain just gets tired from creating, work, the videos, answering emails, writing my book and things like that. Then I switch it to orotate. Generally, magnesium should always be taken on an empty stomach. Closer to bedtime is the best. So many people take magnesium like with food. And then what we don't understand is that the magnesium will bind with your fats and create soap. Okay. It becomes soapy inside your body. So you don't want that soap stuck in your colon, stuck in your small intestine, basically blocking your nutrients from going in. So in general, minerals should not be taken with foods if you could avoid it. And that includes calcium and magnesium. Those are the big ones. Okay. Phosphorus, I would say don't take it with food either. Okay. But so that's why you want to look for formula that comes with a little bit of hydrochloric acid. Okay. It should say HCl with some of the minerals that you're taking. Okay. So that's the magnesium. Any questions on the magnesium there? Because we've made it as clear as we could. Okay. And if you're using Biotics ones or if you're using other kinds, I would say Thorn is not my favorite either, everyone. Thorn brand seems like a middle of the road for me. So I don't use Thorn. They really advertise it strongly. So like a lot of people shift it to Thorn, but it's not my go-to. So I will give you a couple of names of the companies that I like in terms of the stuff that you can get it from Fullscript. But I'm going to hand this over to Chris while I'm looking that up.
Okay, well, and I just wanted to mention too, if you haven't downloaded the PDF, there's a lot of information in there about these different forms of magnesium that Masami just went over. And again, the purity and the lack of fillers is why we are recommending the products that we recommend. We use these, we've benefited from them. We've talked a lot over the years about how our health went from very compromised 10 to 15 years ago to really getting back to a place of sustainability and being able to have the energy levels that we need to do what we do and to really recover from those low periods. And we've done this by using these very high quality products and supplements that we're recommending. I'm just going to, Mary, thanks for your comment. She says, I love the Zorex products and I'm using many of the products you've listed. This is so helpful. And Marilyn says, very helpful. Thank you. Linda has a question. Are any of these forms in the powdered magnesium that's good to drink mixed with water? That's a good question, Linda. Well, I'd have to check that because I know that Biotics does the
ActiMag.
ActiMag.
ActiMag is the powder form that you can
Yes.
use from Biotics. And then they do have Toronate in their form of magnesium and some other ones too. So I got to look in, but that's my favorite. And actually, I just had a spoon of it this morning, just a one scoop of it. And I often do that maybe 3 times per week before I go to bed. It's just one of those my favorite things to take. The calm kind of magnesium, the cheap calm magnesiums are out there. A lot of people love it. I used to use it too because it was kind of tasty and it's like, I could sit there and sip on it. But they've been known to have arsenic mixed into that in somehow their formulas. So I do not recommend Calm anymore. And I have not used Calm since I learned that about 2.5 years ago. Or maybe even almost 3 years ago, I have not touched Calm. I don't know if they fixed that issue or not, but you know, I just my body means more to me these days. But ActiMag from Biotics would be a good one to use for that.
Just to confirm, to answer your question, I just checked it, Linda, and it is actually the glycerophosphate form, which is that was the first one that Masami just mentioned. So glycerophosphate is an excellent, excellent form. It's actually the most bioavailable form that you can get on the market. So that's also in that ActiMag product from Biotics.
So then why don't I move to um, the immune support ones that we put together? And then, sorry, I will give you a couple more other brands too, because I'm just giving you the ones that I wouldn't use. Thorn, Now Brand, and Pure. Okay. The ones that I like in Europe that you can get it besides Biotics, because they do sell Biotics too, is Allergy Research. Allergy Research is a really high quality company also. Okay, and Vital Health, I think that's a little bit above the mediocre level, so I think that's a good one. And let me go to the sharing the screen. Oh, and for those of you that are in the US and Canada, if you don't see the stuff that you want to buy here, and you might say, oh, I want to have maybe extra HCl, please just email us. Okay, so the one I wanted to go through is this quickly. An environmental protection bundle. And we've created PDF with this, right, Chris?
Yes, we have some product information about these that goes into a
Okay,
little
so
bit
we
more.
will provide PDF. Okay, so it's there. But one of the ones that I wanted to talk about, well, actually, I want to talk about all of them. But the Sinus spray, I cannot live home without it. And I've been using this, and it's making a huge difference, which I'll talk about briefly a little later. Okay, but EMF detox is great. And the complete care spray, I mean, I just think this is wonderful in terms of spraying your face before you go into a store, spray your hands, but this is not going to dry you out like a, sanitizing spray kind of thing. But shake it, it's got a lot of a good amount of silver in there too. And with the EMFs, what I've been doing is I opened the cap and I've been putting my own favorite essential oils in there, just your favorite essential oil, just put kind of a couple drops in there. And I've been using the EMFs, like when I'm coming in to do the calls using the computer, or before you go into the store, or when I was traveling in October, I took EMF detox bottle with me and I sprayed before I went into the airport. And after I got through the security, I sprayed myself again so that I can protect myself. So that's what I use in terms of that. Main ingredients is basically the silver that's in there. And then I'm going to actually show you that because I want you to know what's in there. So then you can maybe find something a little bit similar.
While you're looking that up, Masami, I just want to address a
Mhm.
question from the chat from Mary. Mary, we're not going to go into the personal recommendations so much today, but I know you're doing the small group, so you can certainly bring that up in more detail with Masami when you do that. But I will just generally say, for your question about the potassium HP from Biotics Research, potassium is one of these minerals that is highly deficient in the population. Most minerals are, but potassium is one that we saw, particularly during COVID. That was something that early studies on people that were susceptible to COVID infection were also found to be highly deficient in potassium. And so potassium is one of those minerals that you need for metabolic energy and for just protection within the cellular level and energy production. It's part of the cellular membrane that gets food and nutrients into the cell and gets wastes out of the cell. So it's a very important mineral for a lot of different functional purposes in the body. And again, most of us don't have enough of it through food or through water, the depletion of both of those sources. So this is a product that we also use every single day. I personally put the potassium HP powder into virtually every time I have a glass of water. So I have a glass of water right here, and guess what's in it? Potassium HP. Okay, so this is something that for me, as somebody that had a lot of issues with chronic fatigue as a result of a brain injury, having a steady support from potassium to help with cellular energy was essential. And it's something that I've continued to do for years. And it's very important, not just for hydration, but also for that cellular function. So keep it up, in other words. So
Okay.
are you ready,
I
Masami?
will, yeah, I'm going to just show the ActiMag right here. that we talked about, the powdered form of magnesium. It's just really good. This product is amazing to me. And you know what I love about this that you may not even think to look at is it's actually bamboo. Has bamboo powder in there. And you might be thinking, what the heck is bamboo going to do? Well, in Asia, we eat bamboo shoots. In the spring, we go bamboo shoot hunting, like we go dig them up and we eat them. And why is bamboo so good is because it's got a high level silica in it. And when you take mineral silica, it's so helpful for your collagen production and keep your skin really plump and healthy. And I think this is one of the reasons why so many Asian skin are like so wonderful looking. And I miss my bamboo. I just barely eat bamboo. I do eat bamboo in the spring though. I go to the Asian market and I buy shoot of bamboo and you eat them. That's the only time I get to eat them, but that's in there. So I love it. And it does have organic beet juice in it. So it's helpful for your liver. And taurine is in there. Many of you know what taurine does. It helps you with the bioproduction and helps you with the detoxification of the liver, supports your gallbladder. So, I mean, if you're having gallbladder liver issues, you've got to be taking ActiMag. This is one of my favorites and it tastes so good. So you might be like, oh my gosh, I want to do multiple scoops. I just say start with the one scoop, couple times, 3 times per week. If you want to do more often, that's up to you. Like I said, I woke up this morning and I'm not eating breakfast this morning. So I decided to take ActiMag. Okay, so that's one. I wanted to do potassium powder from Biotics. And okay, so
And that's the one I was just talking about.
this is the one that we put into our water, just like a tap a little bit at a time. I would say I take about a little less than a teaspoon per day in total. Chris, you probably take about a teaspoon per day in total, correct?
Yeah, probably close to that. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a potassium powder that you can tap, put it into your water throughout. And, during COVID, they did a major study on what is missing in people who got really, really sick from COVID is that they realized that there's so many of them are deficient in potassium. So potassium gets lost through urine a lot. When you're stressing, you'll sweat them out. It's one of those minerals that they don't stay in your system readily, but it's a vital part of managing your stress with your adrenals because your adrenals have a lot to do with the balance between potassium and sodium. And majority of people that we work with are not getting enough potassium. And we're not talking just eating bananas here. This is very important that you get potassium for your cellular energy when you're under tremendous stress, which all of us are under tremendous level of stress, much more than our grandparents were. It's a different kind of stress. It's the toxicity that we have to live with. So, and one key thing with the potassium, and we love this formula because it does come with the cofactors of a little bit of magnesium. And you might say, well, this has already magnesium in it. Why should I take more? This is just a cofactor. Cofactor means you have to have a little bit of magnesium in there in order for potassium to be absorbed. So, obviously Biotics products are always non-GMO and highest quality. They have the highest ratings in terms of the supplement ranking that they can get to. They have been approved to the highest level. So we still love Biotics products. So what you want to do is you just tap like a 1/4 teaspoon of it into your 8 ounces of water. And you do that maybe 4 or 5 times. If you get to the 5 times, and then you're taking more than a teaspoon, which is totally fine too. But what you want to focus on is that when you take too much potassium, which can happen, what you will notice is that your water will smell badly. Okay. You put your water right up at your nose and you go, oh my God, it smells like a swamp water. It's pretty disgusting. And if you force yourself to drink it, it'll have a very bad, bitter taste. Potassium should never smell like a swamp water and it shouldn't taste like a bitterness. Once you hit that point, then you can go, oh, that's too much. I'm going to back it off. Okay. And you can maybe take a week off if you want, 3 days off if you want. Okay. But yesterday we did a sauna at our house. And, when you're doing infrared, far and near infrared saunas, and our sauna actually gets up to 170 Fahrenheit. So it's extremely hot. That's the kind of sauna that we like. So when it gets to that point and when you're sweating, you do need to replenish yourself with potassium. Okay. But please know that if you have tendencies to get flus or, get respiratory issues or colds a lot in the winter season or early spring, you got to look into potassium. So this is something that we don't ever go without. Okay. So we want you to know that. And we're just using a tiny, tiny amount throughout the day. We're not doing one scoop in one shot. Okay. And a lot of people say to me, they're like, oh, that's just too much work. Can I just buy a 32 ounces of water from Costco bottle, giant size? And can I just make my own self a little potassium and a little pinch of sodium and shake it up? And then I just drink that all day long. Can I do that? I think this is when we have to stop and really listen to our own bodies and say, should you be doing that? And a lot of those people will drink it out of the little opening. So they're not smelling their water. They're not involved in the water. They're just chugging it because somebody said potassium is good, right? But for me, can you spend that extra 30 seconds for yourself and make yourself a glass of water and say, I am thirsty. I do need water. I'm going to add a little potassium and a pinch of sea salt and treat myself with this glass of water. I think the answer is we all could do that a little bit better than making a giant 32 ounces of something and then just mindlessly chug. Okay. That's where I want all of you to get away from, because supplements are here to support you. They're not drugs. They're meant to be interactive. Interact with your supplements a little bit more so you could be supported by them. Okay. So I just want to tell you about the Sinew spray for a moment. This is their new bottle. And I think this has really helped me over the last maybe 6 to 8 months or so. I just didn't like to do much up my nose, just for your information. I'm not a neti pot person. I hate neti pot. Okay. I've never done neti pot till I'm a yoga therapist. I'm Ayurvedically trained. And my teacher finally said, listen, you've got to try neti pot, because if you're going to be a yogini, you've got to be able to do it, and then I just hate it. Okay. So I don't do neti pot. It's just one of those things. And one is because I have developed this kind of a chronic ear, nose infection, which 99% of you have. If you have to leave your home with the tissues stuffed in your pants and your coat jacket, like I did, okay, you have ear, nose infection. Do you drip all the time? When you walk in the cold, is your nose needing to be, wiped? Your nose is turning red. Do you have inner ear pain when you go out? I have all that. I used to have all that. So we would go hiking and I will have to wear extra earmuffs because my ears will get so cold. You got ear, nose issues. For some of you have ear, nose, throat issues. Okay. So I started using this and Chris is like, try it. It's really good. I'm like, no. I don't do anything up my nose. I don't do anything up my nose. Maybe I will do nebulizer. So I was doing nebulizer, but I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to start doing it. This has got good stuff in it. I know I can feel it. I started using it, everyone. Oh my God. Chris will attest to this, but I am doing so much better. Like, I cannot believe, even this morning, I know it's disgusting, huge snot coming up, and I was like, what? Where is this even coming from? But it's deep. It's so deep inside my sinus cavity. Anyway, I do this maybe when I'm not going outside of my home. I just do it once per day, like when I get up in the morning.
I'm going to add a quick thing, Masami.
I just go once. Yeah. And then that's it. Okay, go ahead.
No, this product is really good because it provides nutrients directly into the sinus cavity. And so what it's helping to do, that Masami is describing from her own experience, is that there are what are called biofilms, which are these combinations of bacteria and fungus and other organisms that kind of weave together this thick mucousy kind of substance that it covers the insides of your sinuses. And the sinuses are it's a large surface area, and it goes all the way into your ear canals and then down the back of your throat. It's all connected. And so having this kind of a direct application does two things. One is it supports a healthy environment for probiotic bacteria, for the cells in the sinuses, the ears, the nose, the throat. And it also helps to prevent infection from outside pathogens. So things that are airborne, it could be viruses, it could be other bacteria, it could be spores from fungus and yeast that would go into our sinuses from breathing. So yeah, you can see from the ingredients, it's pretty simple, great stuff though. The majority of it is that colloidal silver with iodine. And iodine is one of the most antimicrobial substances that we have access to that's natural. It's very strong as an anti-pathogenic, just natural substance. So potassium iodide in particular is the form that you want to be aware of when you're working against things like fungus and bacteria. And then the other,
And also lubricates it. You know, what I noticed by using this is that it lubricates my inner sinus cavities, because oftentimes these kind of things can dry you out. And that's one thing I didn't want to do to my sinus, but I don't feel that at all. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say these other ingredients that are in there are cofactors. So whenever we say cofactors, they are other nutrients that are needed in order for the main ingredients to do their work, or for the body to absorb the main ingredients. Just like Masami mentioned with the potassium, it has a little bit of magnesium to help with the absorption. So it's like that here. And these are also some minerals and vitamins that are known to help with either antimicrobial, like zinc and boron. Vitamin A and vitamin D are actually, vitamin A in particular is another antiviral. So they're very helpful directly with that effect as well. So
Okay. So that's why we actually included, hold on, everyone. This is why we included the Sinus Spray bundle here. We are ordering quite a bit of this right now because we want to give it away as gifts and things too. But I wanted to go into the immune support bundle here. And I did a video here so you can watch this. But I wanted to kind of briefly talk about this, about the vitamin A and the importance of that. But immune support, I actually ended up putting the eye defense here. And this is after I talked to Lynn, is the owner of the Zorex. And I said, you know, I want to do something a little bit differently with the immune support, where everybody's talking about zinc and everybody's talking about immune this and immune that. Like, I want to do something a little bit differently. And my mentor had really talked about Dr. Eidner, that formulates and supports and helps the Zorex come up. But, you know, he doesn't get paid from Zorex, but he is a mentor to Zorex as well. Talked to me a lot about this eye defense. And so I got very curious about that. And so let me go here and then show you what's in there. And then this is kind of what you want to look for. So there are certain organs in your body that really is sensitive to immune system getting compromised. And one of the biggest ways that we compromise our immune is eating sugar and gluten-based foods. And we're going into that, aren't we? Oh, it's not. We're going into that season right now, unfortunately. Gluten and sugar all around, everywhere you look. And what happens is that your eyes are one of the most sensitive organs in your body. So if your eyesights are starting to go down, you always need glasses. You know, you can exercise your eyes for the rest of your life, and you can, you know, not jump into wearing glasses all the time. You can actually do this. But your eyes are so sensitive that if you're noticing fluctuating eyes from the morning till the evening, or at night when you're driving, or certain days are worse than the other, you need to look at what kind of a carbohydrates consumption you had that day before. Okay. And in the last 3 days, because they are going to impact your eyes. Your eyes have no defensive mechanism when it comes to your bombarding your system with sugar. And when you bombard your system with carbohydrates and sugar, that will lower your immune system, and they will immediately show up on your eyes. Okay. So if you're having eye issues, you got immune system issues. If you got eye issues, you have blood sugar issues. Who would have known? Okay. And this is why it's odd, right, that I would add eye supplements to your immune system bundle, is because eyes will let you know. There's another organ or two that really, really gets impacted by sugar and immune system: kidneys. Okay. But kidneys are such a quiet organ too. So they don't speak up that much. But if you're getting weird lower back pain, your urination is changing, cloudy, foamy, all that's, you're struggling with the blood sugar. Okay. But the eyes are the key. Really, eyes are the windows to your life, and it's always talking to you. So this is why I like this formula, because it's supporting your eyes, but in turn, actually it's supporting your immune system. And the owner of Zorex and I had a really interesting conversation around this. It's like, wow, this is so much fun that I get to include eye support as immune support. Now you know why I did that. It's got an NAC in there too, obviously. Should be always looking for that, that will turn into glutathione to help your liver. But it's got a zinc in there, but it's got a high amount of vitamin A, which we're not getting much of. Vitamin A got a bad rep. Rap, is it a rep or rap? Several years ago, because people thought that, we shouldn't be taking so much vitamin A. Otherwise, you're going to, if you take too much vitamin A, you're going to turn into carrot kind of a skin. Well, that means that person is not absorbing the right kind of vitamin A either. But most of us are really low on critical level of vitamin A, and vitamin A is what really protects our immune system. So that's why it's in the sinus spray, but it's also in eye protection. So I always know when my eyes are not doing well, I go and take 1 to 2 capsules of eye defense that day, and that's all I take. And I can feel the difference within 30 minutes. My eyes just feel so much better. So that's how I judge how my immune system is doing. If I'm overly consuming carbohydrates, which I can get to, because Chris and I love baking gluten-free cakes, and those are all nothing but carbohydrates too. And in fact, we did bake him a spiced cake last night for his belated birthday. So, I'll be taking eye defense today. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to tell you about. And Immune Plus, let's quickly look into Immune Plus. Immune Plus can be almost used as your multivitamins as well. Okay, so let's look at that. And I always have this available. So you can kind of see that there's similar things in there, not as high of vitamin A here, but it does have niacin in it. It's a niacinamide kind, so it won't flush you. But the niacin and niacinamide are key to keep maintaining healthy skin. So if you have a teenager, or you have kids that are struggling with acne, or you have adult acne, please do look into niacinamide. The Zorex makes niacinamide on its own also. But I like that it's part of this mixture, because niacin really helps with your skin health. And the skin is your largest organ, right? So when you have immune compromised gut, if you have immune compromised system, if you got immune compromised overall bodies, where is that going to show? Your eyes, kidneys, and your skin. So if your skin is drying out, your skin has got patchy rashes, your skin is struggling to keep the moisture in, and you have to constantly moisturize yourself in the winter, you got compromised immune system. That's why you want to take things like Immune Plus. You can kind of see all that wonderful stuff that is in here. I love the fact that it has olive leaf extract in it. Many of you know what olive leaves do, but they are great for combating candida yeast, because yeast and fungal overgrowth is really rampant right now. And it's one of the things that I struggle with. Like my entire life, I was exposed to so much mold and fungus growing up in southern part of Japan. And I moved to northern Minnesota, where there's a fungal overgrowth there too. And I just have always struggled with yeast and fungal overgrowth. So that anything that has an olive leaf, I'm going for it. And many of you, reishi mushroom and all that's very helpful for your immune system. So you can kind of look through this. But it's got the basic necessities in there. Vitamin D should be in the immune support.
I'm going to add one quick thing,
Yeah.
Masami. The last ingredient on the main list, the porcine thymus, which is at the bottom of the big list. This is important because all of us as adults, our thymus gland actually shrinks to almost nothing as we become adults into our advanced age. It's one of the keys to our immune system. It's very important for producing white blood cells, and it kind of turns to this little mushy ball of fat as we age. And so we lose a lot of that function. And so taking something from a glandular form, which is what the porcine thymus, so this would be, the source of that would be from pigs, but they're very similar in their cell size to humans, which is why the thymus is actually a very effective ingredient, because our bodies can take that in and use it in effect as a substitute for not having much of a thymus left as we get older. So that's also an important ingredient there.
Yes, thank you for actually bringing that up. Really, really important. And the key word is porcine here, everyone. So you are taking glandular, support here. And as you, like Chris explained about the thymus, you want to maintain that thymus's size as long as you can. But one of the things that the Zorex does a beautiful job, and I have not seen this with other companies, is that most glandular support is done by bovine. Okay. So bovine is the cows. What Zorex has done is that anywhere they can get the clean porcine kind of a glandular support, they've shifted all to porcine now, and they're committed to switching to porcine. And so I'm going to talk about adrenals, everyone, a little bit here, because this is the season of adrenal exhaustion. So they have a supplement called AD complex. And what they did that is so radically different from other companies is that they use porcine adrenal cortex, not bovine. Wherever they can get porcine, they have switched it. And so this is not a bunch of B vitamins, not stimulants. It has no ashwagandha, has no, adaptogenic herbs in there. This is pure adrenal HPA axis support. So that's why it has a hypothalamus here, and it has the porcine anterior pituitary in there. So you can see that the HPA axis is in the AD complex. And so it doesn't stimulate like some of the adrenal supplements that are up there. It maintains the even keel. It also rebuilds these glands that we start to get fatigued as we get older. So I love AD complex as part of my routine. I don't take this all the time. I pay attention to my adrenal fatigue. If I do sense some fatigue in my body, fatigue can show up as mind fatiguing. The other things would be quick to exhaustion, quick to react to things. Those are all adrenals being exhausted. Then I do take 2 capsules of AD complex in the morning or around noontime. You can take this complex at night too. I actually take them to sleep better when my mind is going too crazy and I can't settle down. I have taken this, but that will depend on the person. So, I encourage you to sign up for the small group, which we still have some openings. Then I can tune into and support you. But generally, AD complex, take them around noon, maybe till up to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That would be the best way to take AD complex. I do take it at night, depends on what's happening to me also. But that's why we have completely switched to Zorex for glandular support. So I wanted to mention that one. So I will stop the share for a moment. Chris, you want to talk about other ones?
Yeah, I'll go quickly because we're getting near to the top of the hour here. So let me just run through them fairly quickly. One of them, I think I had screens I was going to pull up, but I think I'll just hold up the supplements and show you, and we'll talk about them quickly. One I wanted to mention is CGF from Zorex. Masami mentioned the sugar intake of the holidays, and one of the key purposes of this CGF is it's actually for controlling and balancing blood sugar levels. And that's one of the things that we will find ourselves having struggles with, both with age, but also as we have increased levels of stress in our lives. And remember, stress can be any type of stress, it doesn't matter. So the CGF is a very helpful one. It includes a number of things. And I think actually, as I'm talking, it will be helpful to show my screen. So give me 1 second here. Okay, so the CGF, let's just take a quick look at the ingredients in here. And there's a wide range. So you'll notice that there are some similarities between the last formulations that Masami showed you and this one. And this one is its primary purpose, like I said, is to help with blood sugar conditions. So hypoglycemia, low energy levels, hyperglycemia, where you're having too much sugar in your blood, which would show up, for example, if you eat a meal and you immediately feel like you want to go take a nap. That could be an indicator of hyperglycemia. Whereas hypoglycemia would be that tiredness between meals, and then you feel energized after you eat and you put food energy back into your body. But this is, again, it's a wide-ranging blood sugar support. And you can see in the very bottom of the panel that there are a number of glandular supports as well here, including the adrenals, the hypothalamus, the pancreas, pituitary, and liver, which are all, and brain tissue included. These are all components that we need to balance blood sugar. And these are the things that we lose the connection and the balance in our own systems when we're under chronic stress, or if we're just eating too much sugar, period. Okay, so that is one recommendation. So again, let me just go back to the image so you have that. So that's the CGF, and I wanted to quickly mention two others. This is my new favorite, boron. And boron, I wrote a blog piece. You can actually find that on the website, and that goes into it much more. I'm going to highlight here, boron does a lot of things. It helps with cognitive function. It helps with wound healing, many things. But the key thing I want to focus on for this today is that it is absolutely essential for both female and male hormone balance, especially as we age. So we know that, and it's going to be connected to the next one that I recommend as well. Boron has been shown in multiple studies to increase the correct balance of testosterone to estrogen in both male and female bodies. And it's particularly important for all of our bodies as we age and for women post-menopause. And it's a mineral that is frequently not in our food supply to anywhere near the levels that are required for us to use functionally. So just a small amount of boron on a daily basis can really, really improve the hormonal health of our bodies. And Masami and I have been taking this for some time now. I can tell you personally, we have felt huge benefits from this one, which is so lacking in our food supply today. Okay, and finally, I'm going to mention melatonin, which is also, we often think of melatonin as the sleepy time hormone, and it's actually, what melatonin does is it's telling the mitochondria of our cells, which are the energy, kind of like the engines of our cells. That's where the cellular energy is created. And melatonin is a signal for them to turn on and start producing. It happens to be released in the dark. So it's very much connected to nighttime and being in dark places. It's not necessarily a sleep hormone. It helps us to relax and it helps us to have a better sleep. But one of the reasons that we need melatonin is this energy production in our cells, and also to help with our general hormone balance. Because melatonin is something, for women in particular, melatonin production drops off 30% or more post-menopause. So this is a really important factor, and this is why so many women that are in the perimenopause or going through menopause notice very quickly disruptions to sleep levels, because the melatonin levels are being disrupted as the hormones, the balances between estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone start to change. So this one is very important, not only for restful sleep, but also for energy and then proper hormone balance overall. Okay, so those are the three I wanted to feature. And let's see if there are any other questions.
Yeah, I wanted to actually talk about a couple more companies that I trust and I like. So I mentioned the allergy research, right? Designs for Health. And the next one is Apex Energetics. You can get Apex from Fullscript, but maybe some of them you will need to reach out to me to put it in your cart, because they have a very strict protocol that you can't just buy them. Some of them, okay, that you need to ask me to put it in your cart. So, but Apex Energetics, I would say they're just right up there with Biotics as well. Dr. Karazian's, I call him the Dr. Karazian's brand, but I love Dr. Karazian also. So that's a great product to look into. I mean, the company to look into. Okay. And I wanted to actually bring up a supplement that it doesn't get talked about a lot, and that's MSM. So let me share screen. Okay. So I'm sure many of you have heard of MSM. I don't know how many of you've heard of it, but you might have heard like MSM is important for your joints and your supporting the, what do you call it? Like it's just you're lubricating your joints and things like that as you get older. Yeah.
Synovial fluid of the joints starts to dry up. And so this is helpful for keeping that slippery so that you don't have painful knees and elbows and shoulders and things like that.
So it's for arthritis as well, everyone, and skin conditions. So keeping your skin really vibrant and healthy and plump, you really actually need to be taking MSM. and it helps with the Krebs cycle nutrient. So it gives you a little more cellular energy as well. And intestinal parasites issues, which I can't say who doesn't have parasites, right? I mean, everybody's got parasites. Everybody's sinuses got some kind of a low grade infections. I don't think we can, sit here and say I have none of that, none of those issues. It's like if you eat salads, you're going to have parasites. Did you have sushi, last week? You're going to have parasites. Did you have chicken that you cooked at home? You have parasites. So MSM helps with that parasitic issues as well, which is the conditions that needs and require sulfur, right? So MSM, it has that sulfury kind of a smell. And one of the reasons why I decided to switch to the MSM plus to Zorex one is because this key ingredient that is in there. So let me pull it up. So a lot of the MSMs are out there. And if you're in Europe and somewhere else and looking for MSM, please look for the one that says molybdenum in there. And you're going to have a hard time finding it, to be honest, because most supplement people don't understand that the molybdenum has to be in there as a cofactor for MSM to work really well. So look for the ones with the mineral molybdenum. Molybdenum is something that a lot of sensitive people like me, and I'm assuming many of you need this molybdenum because it helps with chemicals in the air, like a cleaning aisle. I cannot walk through cleaning aisles without getting bombarded, and my skin starts to prickle and my nose is starting to run, and my eyes turn bright red. Chris has seen this all the time. But when they put the new Tides and all those laundry detergents and things like that, and if I have to walk by it, I struggle. Then what I do is I come home and I take 1 capsule of the MSM, even though this is often used for your joints and your arthritis and skin conditions. I use it to detoxify my liver and support my liver because it's got molybdenum in there. And then the sulfur compounds really help with my liver. So that's how I use it. I don't use it all the time. I pay attention to what's happening to my body, and I just take 1 to 2 capsules when that happens. So I wanted to mention that because it's one of those supplements that no one really talks about. It's like, who cares about MSM? But I think there's something to be said about that. And please do look at, the videos that we've created around this one. This is probably the most important bundle out there. If you don't get anything else, this is the bundle that you really should have in your cabinet, because HCl is going to help you with the digestion. If you're sleepy after you eat, you get bloated, gassy, you have no energy after you eat, you are low on HCl complete. And who isn't low on HCl complete? I mean, I work with 3-year-olds that are low on HCl, hydrochloric acid. 8 times pancreatin is something you might want to take in the evening before you go to bed, because this is the cleanup crew that comes in and cleans your colon and your dead tissues in your body. It's got a ton of proteolytic enzymes plus other things in there that are fantastic in there. So let me see. And we were looking at other proteolytic enzymes that's out there. And what we noticed is that it's this thing. Chris, you want to mention a little bit about this?
The chymotrypsin.
Yes,
This
that's
is
the key ingredient that the Dr. Eidner mentioned to us. Yeah.
this is another one of those cofactors that's really important for us to be able to use these digestive enzymes. It's a signal to our body to basically turn them on and use these more effectively. So it's kind of like a supercharger for the enzymes that we need in our bodies, which oftentimes are not actually functioning up to a very good level, because when we are full of other toxins, our bodies will use things like mercury and lead to substitute for things like calcium and magnesium to build enzymes that are healthy. So they substitute the toxic substance, and it makes the enzyme weaker and less effective. So chymotrypsin and these other enzymes are very important because they give us really, really functional enzymes to help with the breakdown of proteins and carbohydrates that our bodies may be compromised in. So this is a very helpful product.
I'm going to actually give you a little more extra information on this, everyone, and why everybody should be taking proteolytic enzymes. Is that proteolytic enzymes is especially the chymotrypsin that Chris just talked about and pancreatin have been used for so many things, but it's like a redness in your body, skin, swelling, inflammation. things that are connected to infections. So let's say if you got a cold or flu or, other viruses and you're trying to get over this stuff, you want to pump your body with the pancreatic enzymes, because that's going to come in there and clean out the free radical pathology in your body. And it's great for like anybody that's dealing with ulcers, pre and post surgery. So if you're going into surgery, I would take 8 times pancreatin for about a week to 15 days prior to going in, so that your body is ready to heal fast. I've done this with many of my clients. And there's one example that was really shocking to the doctor, and doctor never asked her why she healed so quickly, but she's almost 70 years old. She fell on these like a weird surfaces, and she basically broke both of her ankles. Her ankles like blew up into 4 or 5 times the size. She sent me the photo immediately afterwards and said, what can I do? I said, you're going to start taking 8 times pancreatin, 5 times per day, 2 capsules, 5 times per day. And then the swelling started to go down immediately. She had to put casts on both of her feet. But what happened was the doctor said, well, it's going to take you, really months, years to recover. You have to go through rehab and all this and that. And basically she was able to take her cast off within, it was like a 3 months. And she healed so fast that the doctors were just like, I don't understand at your age. I don't know how you can heal this fast. Yeah, unfortunately, doctor was not interested in anything why she healed that fast. And I was shocked at the amazing work that the 8 times pancreatin did for her. So that's one of the things that you can use it for, is pre and post surgery, any kind of injuries, asthma. I want you to know that the asthma has a lot to do with the blood sugar issues. If you have blood sugar dysregulations, you're going to struggle with asthma. There's a fungal overgrowth and something pathogenic that is going on in your body can show up as asthma, but the pancreatic enzymes can go in there, clean that out as well. Excessive mucus. So it could be drippy nose, but mucus, like a sticky stuff coming out, mucus in your stools, things like that. If you have herpes, shingles, absolutely pancreatic enzymes. It's like, do not ever not live your life, having this. Okay. You have to have pancreatic enzymes if you have any viral expressions. 96% of people, or maybe more, have some kind of herpes, whether it's type 1, type 2, shingles coming up as you get older. You have to have pancreatic enzymes. Spinal disc injuries, spinal disc problems, inflammation in your lower back, parasitic infections, biofilms. So anything that's like a sticky stuff. So I'm dealing with that, right? As I'm using a sinus spray, I'm using an 8 times pancreatin at night to clear some of that out that is getting dislodged. So those are some of the things you can do. But other things, the 8 times pancreatin has been also found to be effective, is the increased uric acid. That will show up as gout. I'm sure many of you are reading the new book that came out. I think that's Dr. Perlmutter's new book, the uric acid book. It's all about needing to go in there and clear out the body. And pancreatic enzymes are unbelievably great for that. And I think the shingles are a big issue for a lot of us as we get older, because it's in the air. Everybody's got some kind of a herpes, and they do begin to show up. So, not just lysine, everyone. Yeah, that's like a common sense these days. Take your lysine, but I would take lysine plus the 8 times pancreatin for that kind of issues. And there's so many other things I could say about it, but this is one of my favorite things to use.
So Masami,
Okay.
I'm going to jump in here because, as all of you know that have been on any of these calls with Masami, she is a walking encyclopedia of all of this information. And what I would highly recommend is that if you haven't signed up for one of the small groups, that you do that. And I wanted to thank Linda for just joining and signing up in the small groups. This is an excellent opportunity to basically get to pick Masami's brain about some of your personal questions. Each of you gets about a half hour to sit with her and 3 other people to go over these concerns and questions that you might have about any kind of health or other related matter that you'd like to bring up to Masami. But we all know this from our interactions with her. I know this from working with her. Masami is so able to just zero in and identify not only what would be most helpful for you, but how much, when to take it, all of those kinds of questions. So if you haven't considered doing the small group, I know several of you on this call have already signed up, and thank you for doing that. Please do consider it, because again, Masami doesn't often put these out there to offer for everyone, and it's a great opportunity. So I just wanted to plug that, Masami, because I know that otherwise you could keep going about all the great things that are here and that are available and all the possible ways that they could be used, but we should probably start to wrap up soon. So
Okay.
are
Well,
there any, are there any last
thank you.
questions?
Thank you for
Let's,
mentioning,
yeah.
thank you for mentioning about the small group. I mean, it's really an amazing offering, everyone. It's like, um, I love doing that. And what you learn from one another is beyond words, because some of the questions that the next person asks will say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was thinking about. And then there's this like a synchronicity that starts to happen within us. So the synergy that we could feel in that small group is out of this world. And I am actually starting to stop the private sessions coming in 2024. So this is a great way to work with me. And because there's power to working in the group. So that's what I want to bring in. There are just there are two other things that I just wanted you to see that I use. One is the estrogen cream. And I cannot tell you how much to use this on a call like this, but in the private, the semi-small group, I will be able to tune into you and do that for you. And, you know, if you have done Dutch test or blood test or something like that, and you want to let me know the results, I can tune into that too. But this is the estrogen cream that I do use. I brought it down from my bathroom, so I use this. I love this because the gentle formula of bioidentical estrogen cream that is in there, you want to look for the word micronized, everyone, micronized, so it can get into the cellular level. But it's got so many wonderful things you can kind of see here. Aloe is in, black cohosh is in, and burdock roots is in, shea butter is in there. So if you have a vaginal dryness that you're struggling with, this cream alone can really lubricate that region. And I sleep so well when I use it, but I use it at a different time of the moon cycles because I'm in menopause. So, you know, I'm no longer able to follow my bleeding cycles, but I do use the moon cycles directly. So I will tune into that for you too if you're in a small group. But I don't use estrogen cream all day, every day, you know, all year. That's not what I do. There's got to be a cycles to hormonal support. And it's got milk thistle, red clover. So you can kind of see that's helping detoxify some of the xenoestrogen out of your system as well. And you can kind of see like a ginseng is in there. And what you're looking for always, always is the Mexican yam. You want to have the wild grown Mexican yam. That has to be in the bioidentical formula. And one of the things that you want to look for when you're buying estrogen cream is that you want to look for evening primrose oil. There's been too many awesome, amazing studies been done around evening primrose oil that helps to modulate and balance your estrogen. So in addition to this, I do take evening primrose oil from, let me see, evening primrose oil from Biotics. Oops, I don't know why it did not happen. But anyway, you will see, it just keeps, that's because I have all these other things in there. That's why. Sorry about that, everyone. But I do take the one from Biotics, evening primrose. I don't know what's happening here. Stay with me, everyone. It's like it's happening right now. Okay, here it is. This is the one I buy. You know, this is like one of the most important investments of your life if you're in menopause and postmenopause and perimenopause, is to bite 2 capsules, you know, once in a while. That will depend on your situation, but you bite them and then spit out the capsules. It tastes like beautiful oil. It shouldn't taste horrible. It shouldn't have any bitterness. This is one of the most important, I think, ingredients for women to stay lubricated, skin lubricated, vaginal lubrications, joint lubrications, you know, really supporting your estrogen. You have to have evening primrose in the formula. And last one is I wanted to show you is the progesterone. So this is where I order progesterone cream for myself. And I rotate it with estrogen, and I help my testosterone, and then I do the estrogen support, but it's always in the rotation. So you can kind of see that this also it's a bioidentical. It's not a hormone replacement therapy, but it does have a wild Mexican yam in it, which is a good sign. It does have MSM in there, coconut oil, avocado oil. So you can imagine how this is very helpful for your brain as well, because progesterone is such a key ingredient to staying healthy in your brain. If you can't sleep at night, you most likely want to look into what's going on with your progesterone level. Progesterone is the yin and it's the Zen garden kind of hormones that will really calm your mind as well. And it does have an evening primrose in here as well. And there are other things to support the progesterone production in general, but everybody's production will start to go down. So you want to definitely look into that. Okay, so those are the ones that I wanted to mention. And of course, the hormones, there are a lot more to say, but it gets to be a little crazy trying to do this as like a huge group because it's a little more bio-individual. So if you want a little more hormone support, this is when I would recommend you join the small group and really enjoy that group, because it's pretty amazing what you will learn from one another. By the time 2.5 hours is over with it, you're going to leave feeling, wow, I have learned so much. Last thing I wanted to share with you is this amazing thing that happened to my brother. So I had not seen my brother since 2016, after the earthquakes, and my brother had not been in the US for over a decade. And this summer, my brother was able to come and visit us. And it required a little bit of finesse to get my brother to come visit me. But I told him, I said, okay, you have a very short period of time you're here. The day you arrive, let me check you. So I do, this is what I used to do, right? Not over the screen, but I would touch the person and I will test people. If you're ever in Denver area and you want to reach out to me, please let me know. But I had him lie there, and then I did some healing, and then I did a muscle testing on everything. And I tuned into what he wanted, because he said, I don't want to take a bunch of supplements. Please only give me like maximum 5. And anything more than that, I am going to lose my mind and I don't want to do it. He's a tough cookie, it's like he's got his own mind. He's very stubborn. So I said, okay, that's fine. You certainly have something going on with your hormones, so let's do support. So we give him boron. And then he just wasn't taking any supplements. I sent him HCO Complete, months ago, and he was kind of rationing it. That's all he was doing here and there. So I said, you got to do the HCO Complete. And then I added zinc to him. And I did recommend that he does B6, B1, and the magnesium. So that's kind of all we settled in. I didn't even do much of anything else, because he was just like, I can't do this, that. So I said, fine, but we got to do these basic things that I tuned in, honed in, and that's all I gave him. So he sends me a picture of his hands and his nails about a month, 3 weeks after. He had been chewing his fingernails. Okay. I hate to even talk about it, but he said, talk about it. He's like, I want you to talk about it. He's like, tell everybody about it. So he had a really stressful childhood, just like many of us. My father was very abusive. So my brother used to get hit every day. So he started biting his nails, and he got shipped away to the United States when he was only 11 years old. Didn't speak a word of English, lived at 4 foster homes. Okay. He never stopped chewing his fingernails. He told me he used to bite it so hard that it was be bleeding from all his fingers. Anyway, he sends me this photo. His nails are growing. He doesn't even want to chew them anymore. He's never done that. And he's going on 56 years old. So miracles can happen. And I only used Zorex products, to be honest with you. That's the only stuff I used, because I trust in their quality. And I said, you don't even need to take it that much. He's only taking zinc from Zorex 2 times per week, everyone. 2 times per week. And he just told me on the phone, he said, you won't believe it, Machan. He calls me Machan. He's like, my liver spots are gone. He's like, I think I look younger than ever before. And I was like, and I have to tell you one more thing, everyone. He started smoking cigarettes when he was 17, just to combat his pain, because lungs hold grief, right? So he's been dragging that thing since he was 17 years old, every single day. And he says, I am smoking far less. I can begin to think that I can quit now. And his skin is recovering, even though he's been smoking since 17 years old. That's unreal. So one of the things that I can tell you is zinc. Zinc, you must take it, and not just for your immune system, okay? Because zinc is taught so much about immune system, but without zinc, everyone, you don't produce your hormones. Without zinc, you don't produce neurotransmitters, okay? Women's GABA level starts to go down. Zinc is low, okay? Zinc is low, you don't produce your neurotransmitters. Serotonin requires zinc. Without zinc, your liver does not detoxify. Without zinc, your tissues cannot heal. Without zinc, your colon will always be dealing with SIBO, okay? Zinc, zinc, zinc. And the form that we love for you to take is zinc orotate. Zinc orotate is sold by Zorex. That's what we take, okay? If you can't handle the tablets, capsules, you can open them up and drink it, okay? But also you could try the liquid zinc from Biotics. It's called aqueous zinc. We use it for 3-year-olds. We use it for little kids, okay? We use it for people that cannot swallow anymore. We use the aqueous zinc and have them drink that like 3 to 5 tablespoons at a time every day till you can begin to taste metallic taste in your mouth. Then you back it off, okay? So you're going to be drinking that a lot, but it's very diluted and tiny dose of zinc, you'll get it through that, but it's a really good way to absorb them. And aqueous zinc, the liquid form, you can put it on the cotton pad and put it over your skin that's having rashes, maybe candida rash, redness, dryness. You could actually put directly, you could put that on your hairlines and your head if you're having hair losses as well. Because a lot of times there's a skin that is dealing with maybe localized fungal overgrowth, and that zinc is really important for that, okay? So I just wanted to tell you about my brother. I'm so proud of him. Yeah, and I just had a call and he said, Machan, I want you to send me HCO Complete. I want you to send me more zinc, and I got a package going for him. I'll be happy to send him anything he needs. If he can start to grow his nails and, he can begin to open packages. He hasn't been able to open a package or anything since he was a child because he has no nails to open anything, right? So one of these days I will actually include the picture of his nails growing for you in the replay for you so that you can actually celebrate it for him too. I'm so proud of him. And he said to me, he's still he gets nervous or anxious and he brings his hands to his mouth, and he said, but immediately he feels like there's like a disgust. He says, I don't even want to do that. I don't even want to put that in my mouth anymore. He's like, this is a miracle. The miracle is, everyone, he's been to psychiatrists, psychologists, he's been told all kinds of things is wrong with his mental health, and he's done everything he could. Wearing gloves, he's telling himself, doing affirmations, he's done everything he could. And I told him, I said, I tuned into him and I said, I think you've been so low on zinc for so long. And one extra caveat here is, everyone, when you got blood sugar dysregulation, and if you're a smoker on top of it, you lose zinc like open faucet. Okay, you lose zinc so fast. And without the zinc, you just can't stabilize your nervous system. That's why my brother was like high to anger, high to depression, manic. I mean, he was just kind of like this, up and down, up and down. I had to carefully choose words when I spoke to him because he could blow up at any minute. And he would go into total depression, and I don't hear from him for a while. It is very difficult to be around him for so long. And he finally came to visit me after over 10 years. And I said, I want to do something. So it may be that you don't need dozens and dozens and dozens of supplements, everyone. Listen to what we shared, tune into what you felt like it was ringing something in you, okay? You don't need everything. And some of them already have zinc in there, right? Some of them already have good amount of immune support in there. You may just need one thing, but please use supplements, okay? We don't live in a world that you can live without supplements. Okay, so that's what I have. Any thoughts, any questions? Nothing else. Okay, good. So I think we're good there. All right. So thank you everyone for showing up. I know we went a little bit longer, but I hope this was helpful in understanding the ingredients a little bit more. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.